Syria blames Israel for intensifying airstrikes against Iranian targets, including hitting Iranian officials operating on Syrian soil. With us now to talk about this is Colonel Miri Eisen, formerly with IDF. Miri, let's start with who were the targets in those attacks.
Are Iranian. It's quite exceptional when the Iranians themselves both say and acknowledge that the people that were killed were there and that we're talking about officers. Both of the officers that we're talking about were in the Iranian Revolutionary Guards, directly connected to the intelligence arena within that. And in that sense, it's directly connected to the forces that are trying to base themselves in Syria, to use Syria as a basis of attack against Israel.
So it sounds like there's a serious apparatus of Iranians already operating on Syrian soil.
There has been for many years, and when we say that there's been an intensifying campaign, we really should look at this clearly. Israel has been intensifying this campaign, not overtly, covertly, for many years. There are constantly attacks that nobody takes responsibility for against Iranian targets in the Damascus area, in the Homs Hama area, which is kind of in the middle of Syria, in the areas that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, and especially the Al-Quds force, which is the one that's very focused against Israel, have been using Syrian military bases really over the last decade, and certainly strongly over the last 5 years. So this isn't a new presence. It's growing. I think that we're just noticing it more now.
How is this last wave tied to the infiltration of a Lebanese terrorist recently to Israel?
I don't think it's directly in that sense connected, and we don't know a lot, or the IDF is not telling us a lot about that infiltration that happened a couple weeks ago. I do think it is connected indirectly in a terrible way, Yaakov, to the earthquake that happened between Syria and Turkey, in Turkish territory and in northern Syria, because Iran has been using, under the auspices of bringing in humanitarian aid for the Syrians who so need it, they've been using that corridor to bring in a lot of new weapons. And I think that the fact that we're seeing more attacks now can actually be connected to that. The fact that they used the humanitarian umbrella to be able to bring in more weapons.
Strategically, how worried is Israel regarding the growing influence of Iran in Syria and Lebanon?
Israel is very worried, and Israel has been worried about this Iranian influence from the beginning, and we've really been active, and the only Western country consistently active against the Iranian encroachment into the Syrian territory for years. This is not something new. So it's a continuous worry in their bases that are getting closer to Israel, on the border, a bit further away, bringing in high-quality weapons, exact weapons. All of this most definitely disturbs Israel.
Where would be the point where this will flare up to, an open conflict, a war?
It's funny, the two of us sitting right now inside Israel and talking about that with everything else going on. So I say that we're at war with Iran. We already are. We already have been for many years. Sometimes it's more high intensity, like we're seeing over the last 2 weeks, where we're noticing it more, and sometimes it's in lower intensity, but we are at war. I think that what we're worried about is that we're going to go into a really high intensity, stronger one, which would involve Hezbollah, the hundreds of thousands of rockets that they have, the different capabilities that Iran is trying to bring into Syrian territory. So right now, I'd say that it's something that Israel is definitely active and preemptive. And I am always, in my idea, you always want to be on the preemptive. Don't be in defense, be in offense. And if the Iranians are trying to base themselves there, then let's make sure that they don't do so.
And this is definitely on Israel's security chief's mind all the time.
It's the main issue, and it has been for many years. Think of it in the combination with Iran's revolutionary regime trying consistently to get to nuclear capability. That combination of nuclear capability that would be on Iranian Persian soil, and they're exporting the instability, the different type of weaponry, the different type of ideas that they have. They are at the basis of all of the instability also in Yemen and different countries. These are things that disturb us very much. And you cannot just sit and wait and let them do whatever they want. You need to be active. You need to be proactive.
Mary Eisen, thank you very much.
A pleasure.